When I first arrived in Australia, I didn't want to say it out loud, but some things here just felt better. Like a weight I didn't even realise I was carrying in the UK had suddenly dropped. And it's not because Australia's perfect, nowhere's perfect, but it was these unexpected moments I discovered, whether I was at the shops, at a cafe, socialising with new Aussie mates, where I realised that Australia is just better at these particular things. So here's 8 things that Aussies do better than the Brits, and why I think they matter more than you'd expect. Hey mate, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Sam, a British actor documenting my journey of rebuilding my life here in Australia. Now please take what I say in this video with a grain of salt. Obviously not everything I say in this video will apply to all people in the UK, and not everything that I'll say in this video will apply to all Aussies and Australia as a whole. Number 1, shopping centres are insanely good here in Australia. Now this sounds so boring, but growing up in the UK, I was accustomed to pretty teeny tiny shopping centres. Now I'd say the most well-known company in Australia at least is Westfield Shopping Centres. When I first stepped into one of the Westfield shopping centres here in Brisbane, I was walking through it for the first time with my wife and family, and I could not get over the size, how far we would walk. We'd be walking, it felt like for miles, and it was just shop after shop after shop, and it literally felt like any shop you could ever want was in this one building. And of course, a huge appeal to going to these shopping centres, especially if you live in a hot part of Australia like I do, is that they have gorgeous aircon. And also they tend to really look after these shopping centres in Australia. The toilets tend to be pretty clean, the floors are, spotless, and it's just sparkly and shiny. That's literally how I saw it when I moved here. But honestly, this is a rarity in the UK. Unless you live in a big city, we don't have these ginormous shopping centres that you find in Australia. They're not always the cleanest, and sometimes you can go into the toilets and it's just covered in graffiti, and especially the men's toilets, there's other things on the floor that you'd rather not be stepping your shoes into. Obviously this isn't a common occurrence in the UK, but you see moments like that more frequently in the UK than you do, at least here in Queensland, in my experience. Number 2 is public amenities that actually work. Now again, I'm not trying to bash the UK or stereotype it at all, but growing up there for 25 years of my life and, moving around, it's not uncommon to go through many parts of the UK and see public amenities like public toilets, those quirky little red phone boxes that you see in Hollywood movies about the UK. Well, those usually smell like wee. You can go through a lot of the UK and it can be gorgeous, especially the countryside. But in my experience, moving to Australia, there's so many gorgeously kept parks around with public toilets that actually have toilet paper and soap and a running tap, which is lovely. They're clean. They don't often have graffiti on them, but there are some that do. There's free barbecues that you can use. However, I have been warned by many of you lovely Aussies that you need to give these a good clean before, because people and animals do all sorts of things on them. There's water fountains that the Brisbane people called bubblers, which I absolutely love. There's plenty of shaded benches, and they even have little dog park fenced off areas with like little ramps and stuff for your dogs to do tricks on and socialize with other dogs, which is lovely. And when I'm out for a run, I just like to slow down a little bit to see all these lovely dogs. It's just such a good vibe. Look, I know there's parts of the UK that have these things, and some areas of the UK are kept very well. But in my experience living in the UK for a quarter of a century, you have to live in much more affluent areas to experience this quality of public amenities, whereas in Australia, it's just a given. And yes, in Queensland, it helps that the weather is gorgeous a lot of the time, so it helps you to get outdoors more, but it feels like the parks are actually built for families and people to actually spend time and hang out and, enjoy. And just a quick one, I was looking at my analytics recently and I noticed that over 98% of you who regularly watch my videos aren't yet subscribed. So if you are enjoying this, consider hitting that subscribe button. Helps me to keep these videos coming. Right, let's get back to it. Number 3 is incredible coffee. Now, it's not just as simple as the coffee tastes better, which it does. It's the best coffee I've ever experienced in the world. I've also had some lovely people comment on previous videos, and they've suggested that one of the biggest reasons why the coffee could be so good here is because of Italian immigration many years ago. And so, as we all know, the Italians produce gorgeous coffee. Now, this might be a stretch, but I do believe because the work culture is generally better than places like the UK, I believe that because Aussies are able to slow down more, they're able to put their energy and focus and effort into producing something better, like a cup of coffee. Whereas in the UK, it's very hustle culture. We're happy to just neck any old coffee, even if it tastes like a dirty old ashtray. Whereas Aussies, I feel like they're able to slow down a bit more and go, yes, my work is important, but starting my day with a good cup of coffee is also important. So it feels like Brits drink coffee to survive, whereas Aussies drink coffee more to improve their overall life. Number 4, their relationship with silence. Now, in my experience here, Aussies, they're not rushing to fill the silence with small talk like we often do in the UK. In the UK, we get quite awkward when it goes quiet, and we'll just come up with any old nonsense for small talk. It will be the most boring thing. And that's why it's very stereotypical for Brits to talk about the weather. It's not just because the weather isn't always the best. It's like, if I don't fill this silence right now, it's going to be awkward. They're going to judge me. I'm going to judge myself. I'm going to overthink about this. So you fill it. And Aussies, they are happy to sit in silence if that suits the moment, and it's not awkward at all. Now, I sometimes get a bit awkward because, I'm still assimilating, I'm still learning how to be more Aussie, basically. But it's lovely because it takes the pressure off more than you'd think. Being able to sit with friends or new family and just sit in the silence, it takes that social pressure off, and you realize, I'm loved, I'm with good people, I don't have to worry too much. I don't have to worry at all. So sometimes what's not said actually means the most. And if you're with people that you're comfortable to sit in silence with, they're good people. Number 5 is their deep respect for nature. I'll never forget my first time flying into Australia. It had been 3 whole weeks that I'd been parted from my now Australian wife, Maddie, because I had to go back to the UK after a job. They opened the border to tourists 3 weeks later. And as I was flying in, this video comes up from the border control. And they were basically saying, please don't bring anything in that could mess with our ecosystem that we have here. We care very much about our wildlife and our nature, and we don't want you bringing in all these diseases and bacteria and things like that. And then they give you this card form that you check off, like, no, I don't have this, no, I don't have that, yes, I do have this. And they're like, if you're worried, if in doubt, just declare it, just say yes, you've got it. But when I experienced this for the first time, I was like, oh wow, they take their nature really seriously. I thought that was just a Hollywood stereotype, but no, they really care about it. And it's not in a comedic way, it's in a serious way. And I absolutely love that, because you get here, go to a national park, even go into the suburbs, and you'll see how gorgeous it is. And it feels more accessible here, more something that you can do after you've finished a hard day of work or early morning before you go to work. Whereas in the UK, it feels a little bit more like a rich hobby. Now, Brits, I feel like they really do care about the nature and wildlife, especially if you live in the countryside. We have the National Trust in the UK, and they take such good care of their parks and areas, and it's just lovely. But in my experience, in other parts of the UK, people don't have as much of a respect for nature. And at least here in Brisbane, when I go down roads that have a lot of koalas, for example, if a koala has been hit and killed, someone in the community, they'll put these little koala graves, and they'll put the date the koala was killed, and they'll say koala was killed because someone was speeding, and it hits you hard, and it's such a good reminder. Whereas in the UK, you'll be driving down the motorway and people will hit deers and badgers and they won't even care, and it's really sad. And of course, I've still got a very surface level experience with Australian nature because I've only lived here for a year. So Aussies, if you wanted to let people know in the comments why there's such a respect for nature here, that would be great. Now, it's funny, when I was writing the script for this video, I thought it was just gonna be a fun, quirky video. I didn't really think any of them would matter that much, but I've realized that they've actually completely changed the way I see the world. Back in the UK, I thought stress and social pressure and social judgment were all normal things, and then I moved here and I realized that it's not normal at all. So in my experience, moving somewhere doesn't just change your address, it actually changes a lot of your beliefs as well, which is a really healthy thing. Number 6 is a huge amount of roadworks here are done at night. This is just pure genius. I am aware that the UK does do roadworks at nighttime as well. I just don't see it as often as here in Australia. Now, my dad was a traffic engineer before he retired. I even got to go on a few jobs with him. Although he was a traffic engineer, he had a very thorough and expert understanding in, the UK road systems and all of that. He was very nerdy about it. And the amount of time, if you're on a long road trip in the UK, it is not uncommon to come into contact with tons of roadworks. But when I did a road trip here in Australia from Brisbane to Sydney with my Aussie wife and her family recently, we hardly encountered any roadworks. It was just smooth sailing from Brisbane to Sydney, 9 hours, bish bash bosh, done. But in the UK, if you wanted to do, well, you couldn't do a drive that length really because you would get to the sea. But it is not uncommon to do a long road trip in the UK and to encounter roadwork after roadwork after roadwork. Now, I'm sure this is getting better, but every time I visit, there's roadworks in the same sort of places. And it's not just me who has the same opinion. You know, I'll talk to my British family and my British friends, and they're like, why aren't they moving it along and things like that? Why is it in the day? And, you know, I'll tell them that, you know, did you know in Australia they do them at night? And they'll go, oh, stop talking about Australia, Sam. Now, if you've been resonating with my story or my experience here in Australia, you might like my free weekly newsletter that I have. It's only a 3-minute read. It's reflections on rebuilding your life from scratch here in Australia, especially as a creative. And I also throw in some helpful, actionable tips and tricks each week to make things like that a little bit easier in your life. So if that sounds good, you can subscribe to that using the first link in the description below. Number 7 is they don't apologize for needing some rest. Again, a slight generalization, but I do find with a lot of Aussies, they don't feel guilty when they take a sick day. They just take a sick day and they, you know, enjoy it. Like, obviously they're not enjoying being sick, but they enjoy not having to go into work because they actually know that's what their body and mind needs. I see it with my wife's Aussie relatives. If they're feeling unwell, they don't second guess themselves. They just pick up the phone, they call their boss and they say, I'm sorry, I can't come in today, I'm sick. And their boss is completely okay with it and completely respects that. In the UK, oh my gosh, I could never. I don't know if I was just working with really toxic companies when I was doing the 9 to 5, but I would get so much anxiety if I ever needed to pick up the phone to call a sick day. I think I probably only took 2 or 3 sick days in that whole time, especially because I was working in hospitality for a lot of it. If I ever did call in sick, my boss would then make me feel really guilty. They'd be like, well, are you sure you can't? We really need you, you know, don't let us down, things like that. And it just sucks. Of course, in Australia, there will still be some toxic businesses that make their employees feel bad about calling a sick day. But from what I've seen with my Australian relatives and friends here, they are so much more chill about calling in sick. And there doesn't seem to be any pride in burnout here. Whereas in the UK, if someone says to you, you know, have you been, what you've been up to? And you say, oh, I've just been so busy, it's been non-stop. Often people will say, oh, it's good you've been busy though. It's good you've been busy. And you kind of wear burnout like a badge of honor in the UK. It's so toxic. Of course, not all Brits are the same. You shouldn't earn your right to rest in any country, but Australia seems to have that locked down a little bit better than the UK. Number 8 is everyday friendliness is a real thing. It's not just in Hollywood movies of Australia about, you know, Aussies being like, how are you, mate? No, people are genuinely very friendly here. Suburban Brisbane, people are absolutely delightful. Go for a run, go for a walk. People will want to say hello to you. People are lovely, people are friendly. I'll run around my local park and I will see so many different people interacting with each other and having conversations, and I just don't see that as much in the UK. But I do have to say, when I was living in Ealing in London, the community there was really tight. I would chat to my neighbours, say good morning to them, which is lovely. You just don't do that in central London. And my local parks, people would often stop to chat to each other, which is lovely. However, in other parts of the UK, like Gloucestershire, I don't see that as much, sadly. And Aussies, they're not over the top with it. It's really genuine. They genuinely want to say hello, see how you are, and you feel appreciated. Now, let's be honest, I'll always be British at heart, but I am slowly becoming more and more Australian. But I've got to hand it to Aussies. They've just absolutely nailed some things here. They've got some things spot on. But you're probably wondering what the weirder parts of Aussies and their habits are. So go watch this video here all about the Aussie habits that I find totally bizarre. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.